For decades, space exploration was all about visiting, right? You plant a flag, you collect some rocks, and then you come home. But we are on the edge of a massive shift, moving from just being cosmic tourists to actually becoming residents. This is the story of how we're going to make that leap.
Okay, let's just get right into it because it's a totally fair question. We've been there, done that. So what's the big deal? Well, what's happening right now isn't a rerun. It's the premiere of a whole new show, driven by completely new ambitions, incredible new tech, and, honestly, a fundamentally new reason for going in the first place.
So to really get your head around this new era, you need a map. And this is it, the Four Futures model. For years, we've been stuck in the exploring phase, pure scientific curiosity. But the big dream has always been expanding, making humanity a multi-planetary species. So how do we get there? Well, the bridge is built out of experiencing, like space tourism, and exploiting, using space resources to help us back on Earth. And those last two, they're the economic engines that are about to change absolutely everything.
So how do we actually build that bridge to the future? Well, it all starts with a totally radical shift in the most basic part of the whole journey, just getting off the planet.
Now this slide really gets to the heart of it. The old model was simple, but man was it slow. Governments ran the entire show. But today, we're in this dynamic public-private ecosystem. Think of NASA as a catalyst. They're funding a whole marketplace of competitors. You know the names, SpaceX, Blue Origin, and all that competition has slammed the cost down and cranked up the speed, opening the doors to space for basically everyone.
And the International Space Station is the perfect symbol for this whole transition. I mean, it started as this monumental government project, right? And now it's a bustling hub for commercial companies. It's literally the platform where companies like Axiom Space are testing out the parts for the next generation of private space stations. Okay, so with this brand new way of getting to space, our first big destination isn't the final stop. No, it's our most critical proving ground. We are going back to the moon, but this time we're going to stay. And this right here, this just says it all, doesn't it? On the left, you've got a single footprint from the Apollo era, a fleeting visit. On the right, that's the future, a concept for the Lunar Gateway, a permanent space station orbiting the moon. See? It's not about flags and footprints anymore. It's about building lasting infrastructure.
And let me be clear, this isn't some sci-fi dream. This is a plan, and it's already in motion. Artemis 1 was a huge success. Artemis 2, which will be the first crewed mission to go to the moon in over 50 years, is on the books for 2025. And not long after that, Artemis 3 is going to make history, landing the first woman and the first person of color on the surface of the moon.
So why the South Pole? That's the crucial question. Because it's a strategic gold mine. Those craters that are always in shadow, they're full of water ice. We can split that into hydrogen and oxygen. And what is that? Rocket fuel. The moon could become the gas station for the entire solar system. Plus, it's loaded with helium-3, a potential fuel for clean fusion energy right here on Earth. Remember that exploiting future? This is it, in action.
And all this work on the moon, it's all practice for something much, much bigger. Everything we learn there, how to live off the land, how to use local resources, how to survive deep space, it's all prep for the next giant leap. Destination Mars.
Now, before we talk about how we're going to get there, I just want you to look at this number. 3. Just let it sit there for a second. It might not seem like much, but it represents the absolutely immense scale of this challenge in a way nothing else really can.
3 years. That's the minimum round-trip mission time to Mars. We're talking 6 to 9 months just to get there, a year and a half on the surface just waiting for the planets to line up again, and then another 6 to 9 months to get back. There are no rescue missions. You are on your own. You're getting blasted with radiation, you have crippling communication delays, and you're in a toxic, unbreathable environment. This is a whole other level of difficult.
But we are already tackling these problems. That incredible landing of the Perseverance rover, that was a masterclass in the super complex tech we need for entry, descent, and landing, or EDL. Every single robotic mission we send is like a dress rehearsal, testing the very systems that will, one day, keep humans alive.
And here's where it all clicks into place. How do we solve the Mars problem? By practicing on the moon. We'll figure out how to 3D print habitats from moon dust before we try it with Martian soil. We'll test using all that water ice as a radiation shield. The moon is literally our sandbox for Mars.
Okay, so we've covered the destinations, the rockets, the tech to get us there. But what about the people?
Come on, the goal isn't just to survive in a tin can, right? The next real frontier is figuring out how to truly thrive in space.
I mean, just look at this. This is an interior concept for Tesserae, a next-gen habitat. This isn't just about pure functional engineering anymore. Look at those big windows, the open spaces you can change around. This design is built around the human experience, around psychological well-being. It's about making a place you'd actually want to live.
And that's because the kind of person going to space is changing. We're moving away from just a handful of highly trained test pilots to a whole population of scientists, tourists, and workers, and their needs are totally different. They need places to hang out, gyms, better food, all the amenities that make a habitat feel like a home, not just a laboratory.
And thriving is also about culture. This is a watercolor painting that astronaut Nicole Stott made while she was on the ISS. Microgravity opens up these incredible new possibilities for art, for music, for dance, entirely new forms of human expression that can only exist off-world.
And the innovations to support this new way of life are just mind-blowing. We're seeing concepts like the biosuit, which is skin-tight for better movement, a zero-G cup that uses physics so you can actually smell your coffee, personal VR pods from mental escape, and get this, prosthetic tails inspired by seahorses to help you stay stable while you're working. It's a whole new world of design.
So, all of this, the risk, the insane cost, the immense effort, it all begs the ultimate question: why? What's the real payoff here for humanity? Well, it turns out the most profound discovery we make might be what we see when we look back. This is Dylan Taylor talking about the first moment he saw Earth from space. Completely mind-blowing. It literally took my breath away. And you hear this again and again. This raw, visceral reaction is reported by pretty much everyone who goes, from hardened astronauts to civilian tourists.
This experience actually has a name. It's called the overview effect. And it's a real cognitive shift. When you see our planet from a distance, just as this small, fragile ball floating in a black void, it fundamentally changes you. The borders just disappear. Conflicts seem so petty. And you're just hit with this overwhelming sense of the planet's fragility and the connection we all share.
This is the photo that started it all, Earthrise, taken by the Apollo 8 crew. It was the very first time we saw our world not as a collection of countries on a map, but as it truly is, a single, beautiful, shared home. This one image gave all of humanity a little taste of that powerful, transformational effect.
So that brings us to our final thought. If this one experience is so powerful, so transformative, that it can change our perspective on absolutely everything, then as space opens up for all of us, the most important question we can possibly ask is, who should we send up next?